What's up, gang? You wanted to do more dungeon diving, so here it is. Dungeon Diving Episode 1, Vetearn Spindleclutch. I'm with a group, Crimmy, Ramon, Drager, some really good players, and we're going to go through just a normal dungeon run and show you what it's like. This boss at the end drops the Blood Spawn set, which is really valuable at the very end. The gold key, Blood Spawn, here you go. So we're going to show you how to do it. We're not going to do cuts. We're not going to do anything crazy. So you're going to see what it looks like doing a whole dungeon run. Whether we die or not, we're not doing anything crazy. So that way you guys can see how it's done. You know, maybe you have some tips that you can provide or your own voice. Now I'm going to be playing the role of a Dragonknight DPS magical based. So I'm going to work on this since we already have a tank. And talk about the dungeons. So let's get started. Nukatron. First, we gotta put some Elder Scrolls jams on. Let's get the audio going. Okay, so Spindleclutch is probably one of the easier dungeons. There's one particular fight in here that's actually pretty difficult. These first trash pulls here, you really want the tank to pull them. I like to YOLO in sometimes, and I get killed right away because there's a lot of red on the ground. So make sure your tank pulls first and just nuke them down. A lot of AoE, a lot of crowd control is really good. If you're new to dungeons and you're a DPS, you can play the glass cannon role, but it might be best to have at least like 1 or 2 stuns on your bar. That way, if you're in trouble and the tank doesn't have everything, you can get out of it somehow. I also highly recommend 1 self-heal. I use Green Dragon's Blood on my Dragonknight here. I just popped it there. But a couple other ones, you could use Restoration Staff. Let's say if you're a PvP player and you have Vigor, you could use that as well. Just at least 1 self-heal I really recommend. This build's dripping it. Now this build isn't on my website yet. It's the new modified shooting star, so I still have to tune it up. This boss right here, you can actually skip. We're going to go ahead and do it, but if you take this path right over there, you can skip it. Like I said, make your tank know that you're going to pull this. So, Dungeons 101, stay out of red, kill stuff. It really is that simple, to be completely honest with you. When I say stay out of red, the red is at your ground, on your feet. So I tilt the camera usually up a lot. That way I can see if I'm literally standing in red, or the poop, like what we like to call it. All your job is, as a DPS for this video, do as much damage as you can with taking as little damage as you can. Sounds really simple, but the art of doing DPS is actually more complicated than that. This is one of the best bosses once we turn the corner to test your DPS. In fact, it is the standard for testing your DPS. So some people go, well, my damage is X, Y, and Z. You really only know if you come in here at VR 14 and do this boss. Why? It's a good single target benchmark. So there's only 1 target. You get a whole lot of time on target, maybe 1 minute. This boss here is the gold standard for testing your DPS. So let's see what we can get here. I'm going to concentrate mode. Start with an ulti. Get them burning. Here we go. So now I'm just going into Crushing Shock mode. Degeneration. Get that spell power buff. We got a good healer so I can stay in the red here. If you don't have a really good healer or a group that knows what they're doing, you can back out of there. But fortunately we do. So just stay right here. I'm going to use a potion. I'm getting low on magic. Generation needs a proc back up. Get my dots back burning. 11,000 DPS a second. It's kind of hard talking all the time. Really strong DPS from the other DPS. Very strong. 20%. And come on, Nukatron. So I got 11,000 damage per second over a 78-second fight. That's not so good. You top-end DPS are going to be 15 to 20,000 actually. This build isn't fully optimized yet, but anything over 10,000 is really good. Now, don't feel like you're a lesser human being if you get lower than that, because it takes a long time. I have a lot of gear, I have a lot of passes, I have a lot of different things. So that's just a good benchmark, and it's really the best benchmarking tool. So if you're doing this dungeon, come back here a lot and test out your DPS. That's what we all use to see how much damage we're doing. because single target, that's where the boss fights are. And if you can do a lot of single target damage, not AoE, because anyone can stand in a group and just spam one button. It's all about single target damage. Alright, so this fight here, basically they're going to go through a dialogue, 10-15 seconds. The lights are going to change, and it's going to be hard. What you want to do here is drop ultimates, especially damage mitigating ultimates like Veil of Blades, Nova, a Sork's Negate, whatever. So you hear the dialogue going. Pretty soon the lights are going to change, and that's when I cast spells and start to block.
You can rest now.
Boss, I don't think he's listening.
You're one of her illusions.
And here we go.
Why is nothing ever easy?
Light changes, game time. And tons of ads. Make sure you're blocking at the start. You can survive this initial wave. It's usually the hardest part of the fight. Alright, so now you're going to get a series of different ads coming up. Your main focus is to get down the healers when they spawn, because that's going to keep all the other ads alive. I'm just going to do damage. Got the big ad only now. We're going to nuke and juke this thing. That got vaporized. Now there'll be another set of spawns here. And there's 2 healers, one in the back, one of each backside. So you got to interrupt them. You can see they hit really hard. 2 bosses. It's really important for the tank to pick up the big damage dealers right away. Once you survive that initial encounter, make sure you get down those healers. Alright, once those healers are down, now you just focus on these 2 little mini bosses here. Once they go down, it's going to spawn the big boss. So really, you don't even have to worry about the big boss until now, which is this guy over here. So now he spawns. He's going to put a dot on one person at a time, which basically takes away all their magic. So if it's your healer, you're probably screwed as a group. If it's not, you're going to be okay. That red circle around someone's feet also spawns. You have to stay in the middle of it. Yep, right in the middle of it. If another player comes in there, you're going to get nuked. So stay away from that. As a tank, I like to pull the boss and just go way away and use a range taunt. Otherwise, that could happen, which is you come back up on the boss, it spawns red stuff, you die. So try range DPS. It's highly recommended on this fight. If you do die, it's not a big deal. You can recover, no big deal. Usually you want the damage dealers to res. Tanks and healers are controlling the boss. So it's usually primarily the DPS that needs to res. Stay away from the red circle. Obviously red's bad. And just move around and kite the boss. It's not too hard. As you can see my little magic bar there, I have that debuff on me that strips my magic, so I can't really cast very much. I save a potion for that phase. I got hit hard because I stood in the red. More red stuff. Red's bad. As you can see, it's helpful having range here. And down. So, not too bad. Just remember, it does get a little confusing once the red circle gets on you. Best thing you can do, if the red circle's on you, just run away from the group. Stay there, stay right in the center of it, and just move it around. Another big AoE pull here. Make sure to hit them synergies. The stuns are your best friends during these big pulls. Another AoE pull, not too bad at all. Chains is really helpful here because you can chains all these guys in. Extended chains with the Dragonknight. I don't have it on my bar though. Bad Dragonknight, bad. This is a mini boss you can actually skip. So to skip it, you basically go in stealth here. Right up here, you jump and jump a little bit to the right on the ledge. Oh, if I can do it. A little bit to the right, then back in through. We're actually going to fight it. My group's probably going to get mad at me. We're going to fight it, but you can skip it here. So screw it. Let's aggro them. You're not supposed to skip it, so we'll show you what it looks like. On this fight, basically you have 3 mobs. You want to do a lot of AoE damage, obviously, 3 mobs. The trick is you want to kill the mobs at the exact same time. If you don't, it spawns a stronger version of them. So try your best to find out which mob is the highest HP and kill that one. It's not going to be perfect though. Oh, no stamina. They're attacking me. So they're almost all dead at the same time. This one's a little bit heavier. And can we get them all down at once? Ooh, that's rare. That very rarely happens where you get them all down at once. If you don't, basically one gets more powerful, both get more powerful, and then you just keep going from there. You can also skip this trash bowl. If you just hug the side here, get in sneak. Well, we're not. So, archers are going to do the most damage along with your casters. DPS, I usually prioritize these guys first. They have the ability to one-shot you and your group. There's also a big melee guy there. Gal, I guess. Another trash pull, and then we're getting to one of the other bosses. And I stood in red and almost died. Red's bad. Biggest thing is, don't get upset if you die or something. I mean, it happens. So don't get too crazy. If, like, someone in your team dies or whatever. Everyone has a bad day. Just remember that. I die all the time on stream. Not a big deal. Some of these are pretty hard, and you're seeing players that have done these a lot. First couple times we did all this stuff, we were getting nuked, so it happens. Another trash bowl. Remember, stuns are your best friends. As a tank, you're going to try to taunt as much as you can. But really, it's not your job to tank every single mob in the game. As a DPS, my responsibility is to not stand in red like I am there. And then just do damage without dying. I mean, that's really it. Just make sure you're moving out of red. Block when you have stamina. If you get stunned, CC break. Keep up your time on target. Boom. Easy mode. So pull this one ad here before doing the boss. Don't go in there and pull it all. It'll make the boss fight a lot easier. I typically save up my ultimates here. So this is a boss fight with 4 ads. You're going to want to get those ads down priority number 1. Or that happens, which is the boss just comes screaming to you if you don't range taunt, and you get one-shotted. And the ads hit very hard. So the archer hit me for 5k, as always, closing the distance. Then 22k, I mean, just a one-shot. You can't do anything about that. So, archer's down first. Get the ads down. Ads are down. Ads are down. Now it's easy peasy mode, which is basically just kiting the boss around as a tank. The boss is a vampire, so Evil Hunter does work here. I don't even know why I don't have it slotted, but I guess I don't. So, the boss will go into vampire mode here. Elusive Mist form, or I guess our DPS, right there. That's Elusive Mist. So if you're a tank, just either stand in the red or run around in a circle. That's it. Okay, so this is the final boss, and the final boss has a gold key mechanic. So in order to get the gold key and get that really cool loot, you see these little people around the edge here? Basically, he does a heal mechanic where he runs around and heals himself. Using the life force from these people on the stakes. Just don't attack them. So it's another single target fight the whole time. You can also pull this boss all the way back, like where I'm facing. All the way back is the ideal place to pull the boss. He's going to do red stuff like that. So dodge roll out of the red if you have stamina. And then he's also going to do a phase where he runs around, and this is the heal phase. So all you have to do is just DPS through this. After that, it's going to come where he's going to attack each person individually. You're just going to want to block. Here we go. Charges up. Red stuff. Dodge roll out. He's going to come attack now. Puts his hands up in the air. Block. Block. Okay, he only attacks you once. So as soon as he's done, stop blocking. Block. Okay, he attacked me. I can stop blocking. Red crap. Red's bad. I'm low on magic, and I don't have an ultimate up as a Dragonknight. Alright. What is hitting me? Almost 13,000 single target deeps. Come on, ulti. Come on, ulti. Block. Ulti hit. Here we go. Time to die, baby. Come on, 13k. 13k deeps. Yeah. 13-4. Come on, baby. That's about a finisher, kids. Don't stand in red. Yeah. What's up with that? 13.5 damage a second for 103 seconds. Not bad. And that's it. So that's the gold key. Spindleclutch, the entire run. You guys said you wanted more dungeon runs, so I'm going to start doing them. I hope you liked this video. I know it was quick, nasty, and dirty, but that's how I run Vetearn Spindleclutch with a pretty good group. So thanks to the group members for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed this video.